Welcome to Conversations with IWC's Community Connect. My name's Alistair Young, and each week we'll be speaking with a range of professionals, helping people in the Bundaberg community reach their health and wellness goals. Community Connect is also an online resource for people seeking support and fellowship. Check us out on iwcndis.com.au to find out more. In today's edition of IWC Community Connect, Jeanette Young, Communications Manager for IWC, will be talking to Stephen Clark of Indigenous Community Radio. IWC recently was named the winner of the Premier's Reconciliation Award for its initiative Screens Share Aboriginal History to Support Reconciliation.
Would you mind telling me, a little bit about how your organisation went about sort of commissioning this artwork and what your goal was?
Well, the whole project has really been a collaboration of traditional owners and elders from this region and the IWC and with an artist that we brought in to actually take the oral histories from the elders and shape them into an image that could be very much understood by everybody across our communities, because we firmly believe that to share information, share knowledge is the way forward to deliver reconciliation within our communities. Our elders are very proud of this project. It's taken us several years to bring it to fruition, and we believe it's an Australian first.
Okay, so this wasn't really something that sort of came about in a few weeks. It's quite a long-term project.
Very much so. What happened was we started building a stage 2 of our health and wellbeing complex here in Bundaberg. It's a massive facility we have here. We cover 42,000 square kilometres of region. We have more than 13,000 clients, and we cover 93% of the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander population in terms of provision of services and programs, from medical and health to community and family and cultural services. So we had a very big complex that was being expanded, and we were required by council to put up a big screen around the second story. And we decided as a community that we would rather use that space to do something that's been needed for a very, very long time, and that is share the history of the region. The Aboriginal history in this region is quite shocking. It was the scene of many appalling massacres in the mid-19th century, some of the worst massacres in Australia. So we wanted to actually talk about that in a public environment for the first time, really. There's been lots of written histories, but usually they've been written by Europeans and not by the ancestors and traditional owners. So this has been a way of bringing the oral histories out of the shadows and into the light, quite literally, because at night the screens, which are 80 metres long in total and 3 metres high, so they're pretty sizable, they wrap the whole streetscape of the IWC complex. They're all downlit at night with colours that again have been chosen by the elders. So I'll take you through the process very quickly of what happened. So we came together as a working group, and the traditional owner elders around here are Tarablang. The Tarablang Bundas are the people who have been in this region for many, many thousands of years, and it's those oral histories that have been captured. Our complex is built on Tarablang land, and this is their country. We already run culture tours. We have the largest permanent exhibition of Indigenous artefacts in the whole region on display all the time for everyone to see, Indigenous and non-Indigenous. We want to share culture. This is what we do, and we work with an organisation that we've set up that works alongside us called Culturify, and its whole purpose is coming together to share culture. So, very exciting journey for us as an organisation, and it's been a real a game changer for many of the Indigenous community members, because for the first time they really feel that they have a voice, and they do. They are sharing their stories in a way that is not changing them, is not adapting them to meet other people's needs. These are their stories. So we came together as a working group, and I was involved in that working group as a bit of a scribe, and with the artists and with our general manager Wayne Mulvaney and our CEO Arthur Yorga Harathunian. And we worked for many, many months in just establishing what were the stories, what were the events, what were the sacred sites that we really wanted to capture in these screens, because we wanted to make them very, very strong as an image. And we came up with a list of around 20 initially, and we cut that back down to 10. And we devoted 2 of the screens, 11 screens in total, 2 of the screens to the massacres. So that's really important. That's what came out very clearly. And from there, we commissioned Jackie Porter, who was a local artist at the time, and she's since moved to Toowoomba, but she's very much a local artist and very respected. She actually worked with us to create artworks. And from those artworks, we created huge aluminium pierce screens which show the pictures. So you can see the pictures really clearly, in mono, obviously, during the daytime. And at night, we light them with these downlights. And so there's green for the beautiful pastures we have around here, red for the rich red earth we have around here, aqua for the water, the rivers and the oceans, and of course blood red for the massacres. So they roll across the screens for several hours every night for everyone to see, and they have received a massive, massive response. Inside the complex, we have the original artworks, and we have the plaques with the oral histories, which contain a lot of language as well, which is great. They sit underneath the pictures, so everybody who comes to the complex can come along at any time that the complex is open and view the screens. They can view the original artworks, and they can read the stories as told by the elders, based on the oral histories passed down by the ancestors.
Wow. And so what has been the response from the clients and the people who visit your centre?
Absolutely overwhelmingly positive. They just think it's deadly. They want what we're giving them. We brought in the artifact display, and people love that. Reconciliation Week every year is a massive event for us, except for this year, of course. We had the COVID situation, so we couldn't have the big community events that we would normally have. But what we did is we took a lot of the information, so as we talk about language, dance, we have a smoking ceremony. We have elders available, and we do storytelling. So we took it all online. So we actually have 5 pages of cultural resources on our website now, which is there all the time. And it includes interviews with the elders who were involved in the project, in the Screens project. So they can just listen to them. They can hear the words coming from the elders themselves. We have a virtual walkthrough of the screens and the artworks, and we have a virtual walkthrough of the Indigenous artefact displays. So it's a really good resource. We have some language on there. We have didgeridoo. We have videos about healing. We run healing circles here, and we also deliver cultural responsiveness training right across Australia. So we talk about cultural responsiveness as well, which is not cultural awareness, as you know, but it's very much about building those bridges of communication between 2 worldviews, which is Indigenous and non-Indigenous. So, yeah, very exciting times. Absolutely.
No, absolutely. I had a few questions, but I think you've actually covered most of them in the last couple of minutes. So, unless there was anything else about the artwork that you wanted to point out?
No, all I'd say is that IWC and Culturify, we work very closely across all the communities in which we engage. We are committed, our core business is reconciliation in action. And these screens are an important step forward for this community to deliver that reconciliation. We would hope to see other communities do similar projects, because it's been an amazing experience. What has been most important for the elders, it's been a very emotional experience, and it's been, old wounds have been opened, stories have been shared. It has been an arduous task. It wasn't an easy task, and I just praise absolutely the elders and traditional owners who've been working with us, and the Tarrabalang Cultural Aboriginal Corporation, who've been working closely with us, and who will now, going forward, be holding culture tours of the region that include the screens and include the artefacts, and they will be sharing stories that all of the elders have come together, and this is the story that they want to get out there. So it's consensus, it's genuine, it's real, it's got integrity, and it's there for everyone in our communities.
Fantastic. Hopefully we see more initiatives like that taking place in the future.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, Jeanette, I'll let you go, but thanks very much for speaking with me today. I appreciate it.
After the break, we're going to hear from Tarrabalang elder Uncle Raymond Broome about what he thinks about the opening of these screens. Station sponsor.
If you're an adult with a hearing impairment, stutter, or are having trouble with your swallow or voice, speech pathology is a helpful treatment option to consider. Bundaberg's IWC Health and Wellbeing Complex offers speech pathology for all ages, including adults and teens. Find out more. Call 1300 492 492. GP referral is not required. IWC is non-government Aboriginal community controlled and offers services to all people, Indigenous and non-Indigenous.
Tarrabalang elder Uncle Raymond Broome had this to say about the opening of the screens.
Yeah, well, the screens represent our country here, Tripling Bunda country, and it's a story of our people, the past, our elders that are past, and the stories of our people that are starting from our boundaries, from out at Mount Perry, and comes down to the coast. And these screens are they're stories about, the painting is a story about, each one has a story at each place that we've got there. Yeah, I think it's a wonderful thing, and it's a voice for our people, and that's what we've wanted for a long time, and finally it's so wonderful, to see that happening.
How long has it been that you've been waiting to see something like this?
Been years, and to see this is just it's just overwhelming to me and our people. Finally we've been heard. We've got a voice. That's a voice for our people, and that's amazing. Where we've been suppressed before, and now this is a story that has come out into the light for everyone, the community to see, and to know about our people, our old people, how they lived.
Have you had people sort of take an interest in your side of history before, or is this a new kind of experience? Like, have you had people ask these kinds of questions of you and take them seriously as answers?
I think our elders, when we first started, with native title and that, and there's the 4 tribes that are put together through the courts through native title. I'd like to acknowledge them. That I can acknowledge them, but I can't tell about the history. But the Tripling Bunda, I can tell the history because it's our history, and that's a good thing.
So,
but it's a multicultural today, and it's a new day, sort of for everyone. And I think it's good to, when you get the Greeks, you get the Italians, the Chinese, whoever, they keep their culture like us, and this is a story that's being told here on these paintings and in lights. It's just a wonderful thing.
So you're pointing out that you have the right to tell your culture story.
My word, yep. And it's about time, Our people have talked about it. We wasn't allowed to talk about it before, Even language, we've got our language back, and it's nearly lost, but it's not lost. And we've got it here for our children today to learn. Not only our kids, but the rest of the community too, that they can learn the history of this town, This area. Yep. Excellent,
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time. Thank you for joining us for Conversations with IWC's Community Connect. Each week we will continue to speak with a range of professionals who help people in the Bundaberg community reach their health and wellness goals. Remember, Community Connect is also an online resource for people seeking support and fellowship. Check us out on iwcndis.com.au to find out more. We hope you've enjoyed the show.